April 26th in history. In 121 AD, in the heart of Imperial Rome, a boy named Marcus Aurelius was born into a prominent family during the empire's golden age. Adopted by Emperor Antoninus Pius, Marcus rose to become Rome's philosopher king, ruling with wisdom and writing his famous meditations by campfire light. Nearly 2,000 years later, his Meditations remains one of history's most influential philosophical works, inspiring leaders and thinkers worldwide. In 1607, 3 English ships crossed the Atlantic, carrying over 100 colonists seeking fortune in the New World. On April 26th, the Susan Constant, Godspeed, and Discovery made landfall at Cape Henry, Virginia, their first glimpse of the continent. They would establish Jamestown, the first permanent English settlement in America, reshaping the continent's history forever. In 1803, the small French town of L'Aigle sat quietly in the Normandy countryside, unaware that the skies above were about to reshape science forever. On April 26th, thousands of stones streaked across the sky and bombarded the town. Physicist Jean-Baptiste Biot rushed to investigate the extraordinary shower. By its meticulous report proved that rocks truly fall from space. His work launched meteoritics as a legitimate science, transforming our understanding of the cosmos. In 1933, Adolf Hitler's Nazi regime tightened its grip on Germany. Hermann Göring moved to create a terrifying new instrument of state control. On April 26, Göring officially established the Gestapo, the secret state police, headquartered at Prinz Albrechtstrasse in Berlin. The Gestapo became history's most feared secret police, enabling the Holocaust and the persecution of millions across Europe. In 1937, the Spanish Civil War raged across Spain. The ancient Basque market town of Guernica bustled with civilians on a busy Monday afternoon. German Condor Legion bombers unleashed waves of explosives and incendiary bombs for 3 hours, systematically destroying the undefended town and killing hundreds of civilians. The atrocity inspired Picasso's monumental painting Guernica, which became the 20th century's most iconic anti-war symbol, forever changing how the world condemns the bombing of civilians. In 1986, the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Soviet Ukraine stood as a symbol of atomic ambition, its 4 massive reactors powering millions of homes. On April 26, Reactor number 4 exploded during a safety test, blowing off its 1,000-ton lid and sending a pillar of radioactive fire into the night sky. The disaster displaced 350,000 people and created an exclusion zone that remains uninhabitable today, forever changing how the world views nuclear energy. In 1989, central Bangladesh was a densely populated rural landscape of small villages and farmland, vulnerable to the region's violent monsoon storms. On April 26, a massive tornado tore through Daulatpur and Saturia, flattening everything along a 10-mile path and killing approximately 1,300 people. The deadliest tornado in recorded history left 80,000 homeless and exposed how vulnerable developing nations remain to extreme weather events. In 1989, students across Beijing gathered in mourning and hope, demanding democratic reform from China's communist government. The People's Daily published a scathing editorial branding the movement as dangerous turmoil, but instead of silencing protesters, it enraged them by the hundreds of thousands. The editorial transformed a student mourning into a mass movement. Weeks later, the world watched as tanks rolled toward Tiananmen Square. In 1990, NASA prepared to launch humanity's most ambitious eye on the cosmos. The Hubble Space Telescope awaited deployment aboard Space Shuttle Discovery. On April 26th, Discovery's robotic arm gently released Hubble into its own orbit, 340 miles above Earth, beginning a new era of astronomy. Hubble transformed our understanding of the cosmos, capturing iconic deep-field images revealing thousands of galaxies and proving the universe is expanding faster than imagined. In 1994, South Africa stood at the threshold of transformation. After decades of apartheid, millions of citizens of all races prepared to vote together for the very first time. On April 26th, citizens waited hours in lines stretching for miles. Nelson Mandela cast his ballot, and the African National Congress won a resounding victory. Mandela became South Africa's first black president, inaugurating a new era. This election remains one of history's most powerful triumphs of democracy over oppression.